All right, guys, welcome back to the 4x2 wagon family. Today we're going to be replacing this glass door on a 2019 Toyota Avalon. And I never worked on an Avalon before, but this is a really beautiful car. I'm not sure how this thing cracked. I don't know if you guys can see that. But anyways, the owner of this car picked up the new glass at the dealership, gave him the VIN number so that the tint matches the OE door glass. So we're gonna take this apart. I wanna show you guys how to do this. It's a pretty simple job. Now the glass, I think the owner paid like around $350-ish, under $400. So this job should take us no more than, realistically, half an hour. So hope you guys will stick around and see how this is done. If you guys have an Avalon, hope this video will be helpful. All right, let's get started. To remove this panel, you don't wanna use anything sharp. You wanna give yourself one of these plastic trim tool removers so you don't scratch the plastic and whatever else that's on the car and the paint. Here, we're going to take this little panel out right behind this door latch. So again, use a plastic tool, slide this guy back in here and it pops right out. And you can see a flat screwdriver right there. You want to take your number 2 screwdriver and remove this screw. So everything we do today is going to require a Phillips screwdriver, number 2 Phillip, and generally a 10mm socket to remove the actual glass from your regulator. Down at the bottom, you got your puddle light. Okay, and disconnect that. Pretty straightforward. And then we're going to disconnect this guy right here. Again, take your plastic tool, put it in here, and just going to twist it like so. And you don't want to be reefing on this. Just go all the way around, nice and easy. And it comes right out just like that. And under here, you're going to have a couple connectors, one for your mirrors and one for your windows. Okay? We're going to have to put this back on just a little bit, so we're going to set this aside. Make sure you put it somewhere that you're not going to sit on it or smash it. All right, and then lastly, there is a plastic piece right here where the grab handle is. It's gonna be hard to see on the camera, but it's this guy right here. Again, use a plastic tool, push it down and give a little quarter twist. It pops right out. You can see another Phillips screw right here. I really recommend not using any kind of a power drill on these things because I've seen a lot of people strip the screw head and then you can't get it out at that point. Okay, we'll set this aside. And behind the door, behind the window switch, should be a couple screws. And I only see one on this one. Okay, it's right here. All right, let me bring this camera a little closer for you guys. Focus. Okay, so here's this one screw right here, and then the other screw is right here. Let me try and focus in on that. That's your other screw, and your third screw is right here. All right, so the last thing we got to do here is grab. There is a little handle right here at the corner, and let's just try to pull it out just a little slowly. There we go. There we go. There we go. All right. So once that panel came off, there are 2 cables here. There's a gray tip and a black tip. You want the gray tip to go back on top. So just make a note when you guys pull these things out. They pull right out. It's pretty self-explanatory. You'll see it once you guys pull the panel off. And then the seat memory wire harness is right here. Again, these are pretty standard clips. You just push the back of these things and it comes right out. Okay, and this is for your, and then everything goes in one way. So don't worry about it if you lose track of which one goes to where. It all fits one way. Okay, so this one we got to remove this rain shield, this weather shield right here, the plastic deal. That's where the motor is, the window regulator, and that's where the glass is attached to the actual regulator. So, okay, so let's just take a quick look here. This is, I think it'll be a little easier than I expected. So, looks like there's little clips right here. You just twist. Okay, and you have some wire harness here that's running through this. You want to remove that. Okay, and then this cable's right there. Okay, looks like there's a couple clips here. So, you know, once again, before you start briefing on things, take a look at what you have in front of you. Okay. And these are all just a quarter turn, which I kind of like these clips. It's pretty handy, actually. Okay, these are all just a quarter turn. You'll see it coming loose, then you just pop it out. Okay, like that. Quarter turn, pop it out. Put these aside. Now, these are the ones that you don't want to break. These little small clips right here. So you can just slide it out just like that. Feed the cable through here. Okay, and then you can just set that aside for right there, just for now. So as I mentioned earlier, we're gonna have to put this back in or back on. Okay, not that one. So like I was saying earlier, everything fits one way. So even though these two wire harness looks identical, pretty close identical, there's little tiny difference, so you can't mess up. Oh, let me turn the power on. Okay. And then behind, next to the speaker, there's a little rubber gasket right there, or rubber grommet. You just want to pull that off, because that's where your other bolt's going to come. It's going to appear right there. Okay, so there's that screw right there. Okay, and then the other screw is right here. So again, that's why you have this little rubber grommet right here, so you can access that screw. Again, these are 10 millimeters. So I'm going to hold it right here, and the regulator's all the way down. Now the way you take this thing out, you just pull it up, tip it this way, and as you tip it, this glass is on the outside of your door, and you slide it right out. You don't want to reef on this because there's a little attachment on here where that 10 millimeter bolt went through. So you don't want to, just yank it out. You'll rip your rubber gasket on your door. Okay? And there you go. We're gonna pull this trim out. This window trim, and we're gonna see if we can slide it in. So with the window trim out, we can easily, obviously, slide this guy in really easy. And I think this is gonna be the actual ticket. Okay. There we go. Okay, just nice and snug. Don't need to crank this thing too tight. Now let's test our regulator and the glass, and just do it slowly. There we go. and then go all the way down. Make sure it's not binding on anything. Okay, and then back down. That was really nice little trick here to take that window trim off right here on the door. And let's put that back in. And this thing only fits in one way as well. Okay, so at this point, we can go ahead and put everything back together. Pretty straightforward. Let me go ahead and disconnect the electrical on the window roller upper. Okay. And slide your, let's see here, slide your doorknob cable through here. And make sure you guys get these in there really good. Don't miss that step, otherwise it's gonna vibrate. Okay. Make sure you got no kinks when you guys are putting these things back. Now for these plastic clips, and just a quarter turn. Okay, next step before you can snap your door panel back on is connect your door cable on here first. Okay, now connect your memory seat wire harness. Okay. And then just go all the way around and push in the little clips. Okay, so there's two up here, one in the middle, and then a few down at the bottom here. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and connect our puddle light. And the big Phillips screw goes right here where your window buttons are. Okay, and then these other two screws goes back just the opposite of when you took it out. And just keep in mind, if your screws don't line up, don't force the door panel to make it fit those screws. Readjust your panel so that your screws all line up perfectly. Okay, and then these guys, like I said, these all going just one way, so you can't mess that up, even though they look very much identical. Okay, and you're just gonna push down just like that. And then this guy goes down here. Okay, here we go. And then these things just snaps in there just like that. Okay. All right, guys, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Putting in the glass on this 2019 Toyota Avalon. So one big takeaway from this project is, let me show you guys. This is where I kind of fiddle farted for a while, and it's not really necessary. I just made this job a little bit harder, but for you guys, if you guys recall that trim that goes right here where the window slides between that weather stripping, just take the whole trim out. And then your glass just slides right in. You don't have to worry about the little tabs on the glass getting in the way of that weather stripping. So remove it, slide it down, put your two 10mm bolts back in, and you're rocking and rolling. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys have any thoughts or comments, leave it down below. And until next time, we'll see you guys in the next video, and God bless.